Hello, everyone. I want to talk to you today about something that is a really important topic to me. My practice is primarily in family law. It's also in veterans disability claims. A lot of in fact, most of my clientele are in the military or veterans. And it is an important part, I believe, of representing men facing issues with their families, especially in family law where they're getting divorced or they've been in a common law relationship and they're now being separated. It's a huge hit, emotionally, psychologically, let's not kid ourselves, financially as well. And when I first see a client, they're pretty broken, to be really honest. I would be surprised if they aren't. Even if it's someone who has been separated from a spouse for a few years, having to rehash it all brings it all back. And in some cases, I would say that because let's face it, every military spouse will claim PTSD, or he's in the military and therefore he is a big, bad, dangerous soldier with mental health issues. The stats don't back them up, and 9 times out of 10, my guy's got nothing going on related to his service in the military. What he has going on is what's happened to him in his marriage. Quite often these guys have been gaslighted, they've been abused physically, psychologically, financially, and now they're facing even more hardship coming up. They're facing a potential loss of contact with their kids. They're facing having to go into courtrooms. These are new things for most people. I may not get stressed walking into a courtroom anymore. I did when I was brand new at this. I certainly, take a big breath and keep going. But this is a new world for them at the same time that their life is falling apart. And so I consider looking at their mental health and their ability to make decisions to be part of my initial meeting with them and my assessment of their ability to give me instructions, move forward. And that isn't just a one-time thing. My staff and I work very hard to keep an eye on our clients and make sure that they can cope with the sudden flood of demands we have for them, for documents, for their story, anything else that's going on upcoming court dates. Maybe they've just been served and we've got 10 days to respond, and it could be overwhelming for them. And then as we go through the divorce process, still checking in with them. I tell them all that based on my own watching and learning, that it takes about 2 years. It takes about 2 years, and I see a very different guy across the boardroom table from me than the guy who initially sat down with me. We will have been through some battles together by then. They seem to be in a better place. And hopefully, after 2 years, we're getting to some resolution as well, and getting things tied up nicely, and so they can move forward with their lives. I have recently come across a couple of YouTube videos. One is with Joe Rogan that is speaking to a gentleman, well-known comedian who got divorced in Ontario here in Canada, and wow. What happened to him is quite a tale. It's certainly a lesson that I would recommend anyone considering getting married or being in a long-term relationship in Canada. Take a look at that video. I will link it in the comments below. There's also a video recently come out from the Better Bachelor, who talks about men choosing a permanent solution to what is essentially a temporary problem. And temporary problem is not going to be over in 6 weeks. If you're going through a divorce, or you're going through a disability claim where you're dealing with a government agency, temporary is a couple of years. And I'm going to link his video below as well. I think it speaks to men from a man's point of view. He is a veteran himself. So for those of you who are watching who are veterans or in the military still, he's kind of got some of your perspective as well. I also encourage you on that video to look at the comments, because if you're feeling like you're on your own, nobody else knows what's going on, nobody else understands what's going on, look at the comments. You're going to discover that there is a whole community of men out there who have different views and different perspectives, and certainly it's a community that you may want to even just see that you're not by yourself, you're not dealing with this on your own. I caution you, if you go to work and you are discussing your divorce, that divorce is different in each province. Property laws are different in each province. Judges are different in each province. What happened to one guy, it's not necessarily what will happen for you, good or bad. You need to have the advice of someone who's actually done it in the province that the divorce is going to happen. And being military and being posted everywhere, you could be in Alberta posted, and then you could be going through divorce in Ontario. And they're two very different places. As I'm sure some Canadians will tell you, Ontario and Alberta are not the same place. But so the guy telling you a story about what happened to him in Quebec probably doesn't really apply. So if you're facing a breakdown in your relationship, get help if you need it. Ask for help. Don't be afraid to find a community that you feel supports you. Don't be afraid to say to your lawyer, this is too much for me right now, we need to slow it down. Or, I really need this over with, what do I have to do to get this done? And sometimes, return on investment. Do you want to spend 6 figures going to trial 5 years from now fighting with your ex, or would you rather take a bit of a financial hit today and write a separation agreement, do a death divorce, and it's over and you can rebuild and put it behind you? There's pros and cons to both, and each situation is different. There is not very many what I would call cookie cutter divorces. It all depends on your circumstances, depends on if there's kids, depends on what you had before you came in, depends on what you're heading to. So please, take care of yourself. Watch out for your buddies who are going through divorces or breakups as well. I never welcome a phone call from a constable who has gone to do a welfare check on one of my clients and has to inform me that he was found deceased. It's happened, and it's a very human moment. I take it as a human being, not as the cold-hearted lawyer. I do want my guys to come out the other end of their divorces as in the best position they can be in, emotionally, physically, and financially. Take care of yourselves out there, and we will talk again soon.